Please turn to Matthew chapter 6 and note verse 3. Matthew 6, verse 3. But you, when making gifts of mercy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Now, what did Jesus mean? Well, these gifts of mercy were really donations for needy ones. But with these words, Jesus was exhorting his disciples not to imitate the insincere religious leaders of his day who publicized their gifts of mercy just to be recognized by humans. Now, what would be the result of heeding Jesus' words here in verse 3? Well, Jesus explains in verse 4. He says, so that your gifts of mercy may be in secret. Now, for a moment, think of the gifts of mercy, the kindnesses, the therapeutic assignments that you have performed in secret. For example, likely you've many times telephoned, visited an ailing brother or sister just to reassure them of your love, your concern, and even pray with them. Or perhaps you spent considerable time being a spiritual mentor to a Christian youth. Or you may have given generously of yourself to encourage and provide practical assistance to a distressed brother or sister. All of this you did in secret.
We're watching US Branch Committee member Luther Georges speaking at the 151st Gilead Graduation. And this is the second time in this particular event where a Bible verse has been wheeled out that bears no relation to the reality of what the Jehovah's Witness organization is all about. We've already heard in the same event Gerrit Loesch, governing body member, citing Matthew 5, verse 44, continue to love your enemies and pray for those persecuting you. Jehovah's Witnesses, as I've already said, are not an organization that loves their enemies. They're an organization that very much punishes and persecutes, particularly those former members who leave the organization and speak out against its various abuses. Now we have another verse that talks about the need to carry out your gifts of mercy in secret, to not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. He even specifies the fact that this applied to the Jewish religious leaders and the fact that they would publicize the things that they would do to help people. Am I going crazy? Or is that not exactly what Jehovah's Witnesses do in their many, many videos that have been produced in recent years, showing them rendering aid, showing them turning up to a disaster place, giving out food boxes, fixing the homes of fellow believers, responding to these emergencies, to these catastrophes around the world? I mean, if making a literal HD video about something and publishing it for millions of people to see isn't publicizing your gifts of mercy, I don't know what is. So this was a hard one to wrap my head around. It's yet another example, again, the second in this event, of where the words of Jehovah's Witnesses and the actions of Jehovah's Witnesses can be two different things.